Hey everybody, this is Mama Mila from Miracle Mama TV, and I'm here with a reflection video from church today. I went to my church, Household of Faith Ministries, and today was a day we had a guest speaker come, and the guest speaker, he spoke about three different things. He says when he goes on assignment, he is required to do three things from God. He's required to encourage, empower, and glorify God. And it inspired me because I feel like those are three things I always try to do in my life and everything that I do. But I don't do it consistently. So hearing him say that and hearing him say that he engulfs that into his ministry and lives that consistently inspired me to live it consistently. And he also talked about weight, and not weight as in W-A-I-T. He said weight as in W-E-I-G-H-T, and more of like how heavy are you for God, really, is really what it comes down to. How heavy is the amount of love that you're sharing on this earth? How much of your purpose have you completed? And he talks about our church because the church has donated money to build a well in Tanzania, and he was showing the fruits of that and showing the physical representation and the picture of the actual well with Household of Faith on it. And he was explaining how that was a enormous count for the weight of, the towards their purpose or what they're completing, and that God is pleased with them because of the things that they're doing in their ministry and things like that. So it made me think about what I'm doing. The eternal weight of glory is not something to be taken lightly. I feel like my purpose on this earth isn't something to be taken lightly. I feel like even though I feel like I know my purpose, I don't always know how to execute it. And so during the service, somebody came to me and started prophesying to me, and everything she said to me just, of course, made me cry, because I'm like one of those people, guys, that goes to church and like cries, like just bawls. Like, that's me. But it just was everything that I needed to hear. And one thing that she said to me was to get out of my own way, and I was my own worst enemy. And that's something that really struck with me, because that's true. Like, I'm my own worst critic, and I'm like gonna criticize myself out of every great thing that I could possibly have done in my life. I've probably talked myself out of, or either I just convinced myself that I couldn't do it, or convinced myself that nobody wanted me to do it, or convinced myself that it was stupid, or that everybody's gonna do it, and if everybody's gonna do it, which the way you do it is not gonna be cool, or it's not gonna be, received well, or just period. I just talked myself out of a lot of things that I feel like I could have accomplished. And this season of my life, I've titled it "I Told You So," and that wasn't an "I told you so" to everyone else. It was like an "I told you so" to me, because even though I encourage myself and I say, okay, this isn't going to last always, or this is going to be that way, or that's going to be that way, I still have a voice in my head telling me that, yes, it is going to be like that already. So it's like me telling me I told you so. Like me telling me I told you you was going to be all right, I told you you was going to get a place, told you you was going to be fine with your kids, told you everything was going to work out with Kanye in school, told you you was going to be fine, told you you was going to have to worry about shit. Like, it's like I told myself that I was going to make it, but I also was telling myself that I wasn't. So even though I'm striving to be as perfect as a person as I can be, I realize there are things that I have as flaws that I don't even realize that are flaws until someone else talks about that being one of their own. And then I have to then put the mirror up and look at myself and say, is this, look at this. Look at the child. What's going on with your hair bow, girl? What's going on with your hair bow? You drunk. You drunk.
Mommy.
She mill drunk.
Mommy. I'm done cleaning up.
Cool. You want to say hi to the video?
Hi.
Hi. All right. because you're in your pajamas. So what do you want to say? What do you want to say about your Sunday? You have a reflection on your Sunday?
What is a reflection?
A reflection is like an afterthought. So it's something that you think after you do something. So after your Sunday, what are you feeling?
I don't know.
You don't know. Did you have a good Sunday?
Yeah.
What did you do today?
One Sunday. What was Sunday?
Today. What did you do today?
Is this day Sunday?
Yep. What did you do today?
Well, I went upstairs.
Went upstairs and did what?
And played with Karen while you were doing your live.
Yep, she was playing with Kaylin while I was doing my live, and then she played with Kaylin while I went to the grocery store, and I got all types of stuff for your lunch. You should go look in the refrigerator and see what I got. But anyway, I say all of this to say, I feel like there's been times in my life where I've drifted away from my faith because I felt judged, or I felt like my life just doesn't align with the Bible, or like my life is just not perfect enough for me to be involved in church. Like I just feel like, yeah, after you eat dinner.
Okay.
All right. Can you go write your name 5 times for me? In that notebook you was playing with earlier? Thanks. I feel like because I've distanced myself from church, I've ended up in situations that I feel like I always, at the end of the day, I'm like, God was trying to tell me that. Or God was trying to tell me to avoid that. And not that I didn't listen, but more of I wasn't ready to accept that that was the reality. I wasn't ready to accept that that little voice in my head was right. And that's my fault. I'm learning to listen to that little voice, because I started to realize that that little voice wasn't just a little voice. That little voice is God talking to me. So as I try to mature with my spirituality, I'm going to be journaling or vlogging here and trying to just share my experiences with you guys so that you guys can understand that if you're going through these same type of things, dealing with your spirituality, dealing with your faith, dealing with how it aligns in your life, or dealing with just even looking for your purpose. If you are watching this video right now and you don't know what your purpose in life is, I would encourage you to meditate at night. Meditate at night and stargaze. I feel like I didn't really find my purpose until I started hiking. I would be in nature a lot. I would always be in the sun. I would just stare at the sky, or if I charge my crystals, I'll go outside and just stare at the sky and stare at the moon and just manifest and just affirm that one day I'm going to know exactly what I'm put on this earth to do. It's the same as if when I speak life over my children, I say, you will do great things. Your purpose is built into your psyche. You won't spend your life looking for it. And that's something that I really want for my children. I don't want them to spend their whole lives looking for their purpose. As people that are in their 50s, 60s don't know their purpose in life. And that's very behind. When you think about the eternal weight of glory, that's very behind to not know your purpose at that point in life. And if you don't know your purpose, that means you're not working towards it. So that means that you're not doing what God put you on this earth to do. So my goal, being 26, is to complete my purpose, stay humble in doing that, because I know what my purpose is, and I know that YouTube is not the last stop for me. So as I try to move forward, I vowed myself today in church that I was going to remain humble. I was going to stick to the plan. I was going to get out my own way and stand firm on my 2 feet and speak the word that God gave to me. So there will be more, I think, spiritual posts, spiritual videos. I'm going to keep the videos here on YouTube and not necessarily on the Facebooks and lives, because I realize that everybody doesn't necessarily agree with or align with the same religious views as everyone. So being that, you know, Facebook and Instagram is a neutral place, I'm going to leave that a neutral place. And I'm going to talk about my spiritual journey on YouTube separately. So just to elaborate, yes, I was raised Christian. As me and Kai matured in our adulthood, we converted to Islam a few years ago. But I am very free-spirited into the fact of I don't really claim a certain denomination. I love God, the Most High. He is the Most High to me. Sometimes he's a father. Sometimes he's a mother. She's a mother. But I feel like God being omniscient, that should be okay. And I feel like sometimes people are so stuck into this cookie cutter, this is God type of thing that we have lost all imagination. Or not even imagination, because I'm not imagining my higher power. It's more of just transparency. We're all different people. So why are we required to all think the same way? If I pray to God and today God is a woman, why is that wrong? Why, you know, because I feel like there's some days where I wake up and I say, God couldn't be no man because men are stupid. But there's other times where I say, you know, God couldn't be a woman because, you know, or whatever the case is. You could wake up and say a different thing every day. But I think that what has kept me from staying consistent in my spiritual journey is that there is very little room to have those different expressions of your faith, or have those different interpretations of your faith in Christianity or in the traditional black church, period. I love my church because not only is the pastor's family members, they're my in-laws, but I feel free there. I feel like I can walk in there as me. Even though they're family, them being family, I feel like in the beginning it scared me. I feel like I couldn't walk in there by myself. But as I saw them separately as Pastor Billy and Donna and not Uncle Billy and Aunt Donna, I started to see what they represented in my life as far as my spirituality, and they represented a renewal in my spirituality, and they represented I feel like a leveling up of my spirituality. I was raised in such a comfortable place, so I was comfortable in my spirituality. And when I left that comfort spot, I felt so strong and empowered, like I could just do it by myself. Like I don't need a church. I can just watch church on TV, or I can worship by myself and praise God. But the more and more I kept going, I felt like I was lost and I needed guidance. So the only way to get guidance was to get back in the church. So here I am, getting back in the church. And when I got back to Raleigh, I came back to my family. I came back to Household of Faith. And it's like, it's weird sometimes because of the fact that they're family. But when somebody picks somebody out specifically to come talk to you and it ends up being exactly what you need to hear, you can't excuse the anointing that somebody has. And so I'm blessed to be able to be in a place where it's a small church setting. I feel like every time I go, the word is for me. It doesn't matter what it's about. The word is for me. I can get something out of it. So no, this is not a promo for my church, but yes, this is a promo for my church. So if you're in Raleigh, I would love for you to come to Household of Faith with me. Like, I'm not perfect. I don't be on time now all the time now, but I shows up. I can show up. And I'm trying to get to the point where I'm a responsible human being and I'm going to church every Sunday. But bear with me, and I will be there next Sunday. I'm making sure because I'm making this video. I will be there next Sunday. So anybody watching this video, if you want to go to Household of Faith, you can get on my Facebook. I just tagged them into my Sunday selfie, and you can go and find out. They are off Glenwood Road, off the Raleigh. I think it's the Raleigh or Pleasant Valley, one or the other. Millbrook and Glenwood, behind the McDonald's. And service starts at 10:30. So I will be starting to continue to blog. Maybe I'll always do a reflection after church, because it seems to always put me into a good headspace, and it makes me think. It always gives me a reflection mood, I guess. It makes me think. It gives me more to search for, to where other churches you can go and hear the word and walk out and not think about it no more. And I also want to say that the best way I feel to change the way that young adults today think about church is to embrace the changes of the time. And I think that that's what Household of Faith is doing. Pastor Donna and Billy take their time to find out what gifts are in their church, and they use them. And it's something that is simple, but it's so rare. There's so many churches that are like, I'm gonna preach, my husband gonna play the organ, and my daughter gonna sing, and that's how it's gonna be. To where on Donna, it's like, we're here to glorify God. It's not about who's family, who's this, who's that, who's better at whatever. We're here to glorify God, and however we're all going to do that as a collective is how we're going to do that. And it just became a bigger respect that I had for her as a leader, because there's so many other things that she could have did with that. But needless to say, if you come to my church, you will be able to see, and you'll be able to see technology is up to date, and it's fun and lively, and they're not boring, and you gonna be in there cracking up because they crazy, and you're also gonna be filled. You're gonna be filled with not only spiritual knowledge but love. And I think that's what keeps me coming back to Household of Faith, is that I keep getting that love, and it's something that can't be replaced. And one thing that I feel like about going back to church is that it sets the mood for your week. So if there's any advice that I can give to anybody, like, and everybody knows I'm not super duper spiritual person, go to church on Sundays. It'll set the tone for your week, or at least give you a leading into Monday of the right attitude to have, or the right view to have. And even though you're under the word, it might not have been specifically for you, but I see it. Good job. You want to see Kaya write her name? Boom. Say, I've been in kindergarten for 3 weeks, and my handwriting got really good.
Cookie.
That looks like, let me just tell you, honey, like, your name is popping. You're doing very great. You know that? Your name looks very, very good from when you started.
And I'm getting really good with
Look
the
at it.
and stuff.
Yes, it looks really neat.
Because she couldn't do it that small before.
It looks really neat. It looks great. I'm so proud of you, and I'm happy that you're progressing.
All right, let me finish her video.
All right. So to conclude, the moral of the story is go to church on Sundays. It'll set the mood for your week. If you're in Raleigh, Household of Faith Ministries. If not, you can watch them. We're live every Sunday. We live, baby, every Sunday. And you can watch them on Facebook. And if you can't feel the love and anointing in that room through the live, then shoot me a comment, because I know you lying. Peace, love, and blessings, everybody. Check on a mama today. Check on a friend today. And love each other, encourage one another, empower one another, and glorify God. Peace, love, and blessings.
Hello, baby. Hello, baby.